A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim. Bismillahir rahmanir rahim. All praise and adoration belongs to Allah, the Lord of incomparable and His majesty. Bismillah Allah to shower His blessing and His mercy on His Prophet Muhammad Sallam, His household, His companion, His relatives, and every Muslim that followed the virtuous teaching. Today we're reckoning. I say, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. And inshallah, today we shall be um, talking about the oral sex, Islamic perspective. Oral sex, Islamic stand. So when you say oral sex, the first thing we need to first envisage is to look at the sex in its general context. Sex is an act that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala permitted for human being. It's meant for procreation. It's meant for productivity. And that is why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala permitted sex via wedding, via legal nikah, and anyone that embarked on nikah is permitted to engage in sex. And this case sex we're talking about was even referred to as an nisful ibadah, act of worship, half of the whole 100% forms of worship. To the extent that Rasul said that anyone who copulates, who have sex with his wife, he said, shall be recorded for such person as sadaqah, as reward. And it is generally known that when we talk about sex, we know that every one of us should be aware or is aware of the permissible forms of copulation between both male and female. So we use the genital part of the body to conjugate. But when we talk about the oral, it means using the mouth to lick or to induce romance in male or female. When we try as much as possible to use a mouth to do foreplay, to use a mouth to, activate this sexual aroma, the sexual urge as a forms of foreplay. Is it permissible? Is it allowed in our deen? The first thing is, if you look at this oral sex we're talking about from the Islamic stand, it is aliens to Islam. It is not. It is strange to Islam because Islam, as a deen that Allah has legislated, He has given us the limitation to what extent, to what level we can have the sexual conjugation. And the limitation is to use the genital part for sexual interaction. But today, when you say oral, it is the oral part of our body is not meant for sexual intercourse. It's meant for talking, meant for hitting, meant for praying, for a lot of communication. But when you now convert it to oral machine or oral or sex machine or sex element, that is where the challenge is. And from this point of view, we look at three areas where it is considered that we should shun oral sex. We should say no to oral sex. We look at it from the medical perspective. Medically, human part, the genital part of human being, which is the private part, is a part that is predisposed to love um, microorganisms, microbes, viral diseases, fungi diseases, because that part of the body, it is always used for things that are not hygienic. Because of the level of unhygienic aspect of this oral part, the genital part, it is advisable medically that we should do away from oral sex so that you'll not be prone, you'll not be exposed, you'll not be predisposed to um, sexual diseases, oral diseases, diseases that could, you know, get to your mouth through having the oral um, sexual engagement with opposite sex, which can lead to a lot of mouth diseases, what we call dental diseases. And these diseases, the mouth as well is a very, very delicate part of our body. It's the inner part, from the teeth to the tongue to the epiglottis to the esophagus to the soft palate and what have you, all the mouth parts. We have to be very careful medically, because the more you use the mouth for this oral sexual engagement, the more you are prone to such um, medical um, diseases. So we have to be very careful in this aspect. And Islam said that a Muslim should do all possible to avoid things that can endanger his or her life. So as I said that if you heard about pandemic in a particular city, he said do not travel there. And if it happens in your own city, do not leave such city for somewhere else so that to avoid the spread of diseases. So to avoid the spread of things that can endanger our life, we should look at it from this medical aspect, that it is very, very out of 100, at least 85 will be exposed to these diseases. So we have to do it from it. Number two, from the spiritual aspect, the mouth is something Islam require you and I to use for Allah's remembrance. We do dhikr, we do tilawa, we do dua, we do a lot of things with the mouth. And this mouth should be considered as a part of the body that has a kind of connection with spirituality. So that aspect that you use for spiritual function should not be so much taken to that level of using for such a thing. So this we all go a long way to thwart the spiritual um, features of the mouth. So therefore, as far as Islam is concerned, a Muslim should try as much as possible to also look at it from that angle, that where you use for Allah's remembrance should also be used for such a thing. And number three is the human status. We are not animal, we are human. And because we are not animal, we are human, we should always behave like human. Not, it is animal that use the mouth for things that are filthy. human, we use the mouth for things that are not filthy, things that are pure. So going to that level of, embracing oral sex is like you bring it down to yourself to the level of the animals. So you have downgrade yourself to from that level of human to the level of animals, which do not consider limitation. So there are limitations to everything we do as human. Our eyes has limitation, our hand has limitation. Let's say watilika hududullah. This is Allah's limitation. This is Allah's no-go area. من يتعدى حدود الله فقد ظلم نفسه. Whoever transgresses these limits, such person has wronged him or herself. And now you're bringing down yourself to the level of this animalistic stage. So, and lastly, is that when we talk about all the sex, we have a lot of aspects where Islam has permitted you and I, to engage in what we call foreplay before we, you know, go into the main conjugation with our wives and husband. And this is aspect that Muslims should be look at. We know the hair, the mouth, the kissing, the neck, the hand. There are a lot of sensitive part of the body that can be, engaged for the activation and preparing such person for the sexual engagement. So these are just little we need to pass across to us. All sex should be avoided as Muslim to avoid falling victim of medical diseases, falling victim of bringing down yourself to the level of animals, and at the same time not not committing things that will make you be devoid of light. No, yakin, light from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.